There it is. You hear the crickets chirping? Banana blondies. Great alternative to banana bread. Turned out very nice. I like to say I've had the regular ones so I could do a contrast, but these are really tasty. I'll have to get somebody who can try both to weigh in.
What are we making?
Banana buns.
We're gonna make some gluten, dairy, and refined sugar-free ones, and then some regular old yummy ones. Inspired by Auntie Keely. 2 half cups of quinoa flour to make 1 whole cup going in. Okay, we got that in. We got 1/2 cup of potato starch. You could use tapioca or arrowroot. 1/2 cup almond flour for a total of 2 cups for our gluten-free flour mix. We're gonna get 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum into the bowl. 1/2 cups of coconut sugar for 1 whole cup over the bowl. 1 and 2. 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. 1/2 teaspoon of salt, so it could be 1/4 or 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Mix. And get the wet in there. So we need a full cup of fat, but we're going for a dairy-free version, so we're going to use, this looks about 2/3 of a cup of a cashew butter that we're going to use. So I'll need another 1/3 of an alternative like coconut oil or a butter alternative. My cashew butter is a little dry on the bottom, but we're going to get it in there and grind it up. I actually had some extra sprouted walnut oil from my sprouted walnut butter, so we're going to just top that cashew butter off to a full cup with some of this, about another 1/3 cup of oil. And that nut butter in, okay, Stevie? Got 3 thawed bananas from our freezer. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. We're using the cap as a teaspoon. To improve our gluten-free, we're going to use a tiny bit of apple cider vinegar.
Just a 1/2 cup.
Just, yeah, like a 1/2 cup, or you can do a little more than a 1/2 cup, whatever. That's good. Splash of apple cider. I would have wanted 2 eggs, but we're out of eggs, so I'm using my egg whites. So 1/2 cup, which is about 2 eggs. With all that oil. If you don't want to use any eggs, you could have used flax or chia flour instead of the almond flour, and that would help it bind. Okay, so we're gonna dump this into here. I've got a 7 by 11 greased with coconut oil. We'll meet you back. Okay, so I'm at 350 degrees. We're gonna pop them in there. That's my special version. I'm gonna put them in for about 30 minutes and check them. So this was 30 minutes. And I actually think maybe it was like a minute or 2 over, but it's very close. It looks great. For my frosting, I'm gonna use this Melts, and I only have about a 1/4 cup in there. I have 3.5 ounces of an allulose. I think I'm going to do that just to cut back on the blood sugar spike. So I'm going to put that whole bit in there and we'll see where that gets us. So I think once I add my vanilla, it won't be a whole lot of icing, but it'll just be like a thin spread. So let's just put a little teaspoon of this vanilla in, just like a splash. That's amazing. And let's see if that comes together. So it's very nice, but it is not a whole lot. So I could do this and add some honey or maple syrup. I could also, if I wanted to make it a bit more nutty, I could just add peanut butter or a different nut butter, some more cashew butter, almond butter. But I think just a thin layer of that might be just fine. So I'll give that a go. It's kind of like having just butter on top, almost. Sweetened butter. Vanilla butter. So I'll just spread this. I'll meet you back. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a little taste. The brown butter frosting that's going on the standard recipe, I know gets rave reviews, so let's see how this one goes. Okay, so you tried the banana blondie and you thought it was way better than banana bread.
Yes.
Okay, so now this is
Consistency was fantastic. And this is now
this is an
trying-
allergen version. No dairy, no gluten, and no refined sugar.
Consistency is still very good. Definitely not as sweet.
It's not as tasty, right?
It's not as tasty. It's still very good.
Still very good.
But banana blondie wins.
Okay.